A big 3-team trade. Not quite what I was expecting when I thought the Warriors were going to actually do it. They were actually going to do it. They're going to trade James Wiseman. They did it, and I thought, hey, Saddiq Bey makes a ton of sense going back to Golden State. This is great. Nice swap. The Detroit obviously is making an upside play with Wiseman. Totally cool. The Atlanta Hawks got involved on this trade, made it a 3-team deal. The Hawks actually get Saddiq Bey. They send 5 second-rounders, which is now becoming a trend. Usually it's like 2 or 3, 5 second-rounders. That's been done twice today. 5 second-rounders to Golden State. The Warriors for the 2nd pick in the draft, not that long ago, still on a rookie scale deal. All they get is 5 second-round picks. No players. Saddiq Bey is a Hawk. And the former 2nd overall pick is a Piston. How do we feel about this trade, Dave DuFour?
Great for Atlanta. Saddiq Bey is a good player.
I agreed. Yes.
It's okay for Detroit. James Wiseman's 2 years removed from being the number 2 pick. He's shown nothing as an NBA player, but you bring him in house, you get a look at him. Maybe you can develop him.
I hate this for so many reasons for Detroit. I don't understand the Warriors. I don't understand Detroit. They just took Jalen Duren. It
doesn't matter. They're taking bites at the apple. I actually don't mind bringing in a guy who might have talent, right? Like if Jalen Duren isn't good enough to hold off James Wiseman, then you got a Jalen Duren problem too.
But but Saddiq Bey, I think, is a player that helps.
I think that there must be something behind the scenes there that the Saddiq Bey situation wasn't working out. Maybe we don't know about it. Sure. I don't know. I'm totally
sure we'll get a James Edwards special on what's happening with Saddiq Bey, because if that's the deal you get for Saddiq Bey, I'm out on that. If I'm a Pistons fan, I'm out on that.
They must love Wiseman.
I guess they do.
Yeah. The Warriors didn't. 5 second-round picks for the Warriors, and I envision these picks out there, playing in a switch everything defense with Draymond Green.
Yeah.
I'm really lost. Like the Warriors, this is a bad trade for the Warriors. 2nd-round picks are basically NFTs at this trade deadline. It doesn't matter. They have either a supreme value or no value at all. They pick up 5 second-round picks. They really need players. This is a team that they botched the James Wiseman draft pick.
Yeah.
Period. Yeah. And then they've botched this trade. Now, I mean, there may be more to come, and maybe those 5 second-round picks help them get some other stuff done. But Wiseman, they probably should have moved him last year or during the summer when he had a little bit more value. They waited a little too long. He lost value as the season progressed, and this is what you wind up with. You wind up getting a guy. Oh, wait, you didn't get a guy. You got 5 second-round picks. I'm lost. They could have turned the Wiseman pick into Saddiq Bey and Desmond Bane in the draft. They could have just traded back from that 2nd pick. So I'm befuddled by the Warriors.
I'm not one to go back and look at the draft. I just look at even the situation right now, where we are, where my 2 feet are planted here. I don't like it. If you could have Saddiq Bey on that team, it's just like, what do they need? What does everybody need? An additional wing that can play. And I think Saddiq Bey could have been that for them. And so I don't like it just from that standpoint alone. Now, if they parlay these 5 picks into something else that's helpful today, great. Then it's just a wash. Like you just found a roundabout way to get what you wanted. I don't like it for the Warriors. I don't like it at all for Detroit either. Detroit's they're taking bites at the apple, sure, but you're using real players to do it. And I don't necessarily like that. I would rather Jalen Duren's the youngest player in the draft this past year. And you just took him in the lottery. And you're bringing in the number 2 pick who is going to expect minutes, right? Like if you're James Wiseman and you've been with the Warriors and you go to the Pistons, what's your expectation? Well, now it's time to play. Right. Now it's time to play. It's great. Marvin Bagley. They just paid Marvin Bagley. What's going on with that? I don't know, man. I'm not a
What?
huge fan of what's going on here, especially like acquiring so many bigs too.
Yes.
Like that is not a great move
Well,
for
they love
today.
centers in Detroit. If there's one thing I could tell you about the front office in Detroit is that they are addicted to centers, and they were just bringing these guys in. Honestly, it begs the question: what was Bey's value like around the league? If this is all it took to get him, what is going on there? What am I not seeing with Saddiq Bey that NBA teams are seeing? This guy is at the minimum a solid rotation player. I mean, there's plenty of other teams that could have come in with more, but it does make you wonder, like, how come he couldn't get a little bit more than James Wiseman? I mean, Wiseman is just not a good player.
So he hasn't done anything.
Saddiq Bey scored 50 in a game.
He scored 50 in a game. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just flat wrong, and Saddiq Bey is just not the player that I think that he is. But I like what Atlanta did. Like you just get another rotation piece in there. He's tough as nails. He's super strong. He can shoot the basketball. Like those are all, and he's a wing. Like that's the thing. He hadn't shot the ball well this year, and that's fine. Like he's below league average, 34% from three. I get it. If that's who he is as a player, then maybe it is worth punting him and getting him, somewhere else. But he takes a lot of threes, and he's a career 35.7% from three. Like I'd rather take a swing on that. Like let me take a swing on an NBA wing rather than another big. And let me get somebody of value today rather than a ton of second round picks. I mean, the Warriors are functioning like they're the Rockets or the Thunder or the Nets right now. Unless they do something else with those, you're not functioning like you have a shot at the title, which maybe they feel like they don't after Durant got traded.
And we're getting close to the deadline. I mean, time is running out and players are getting moved. I mean, the trades are coming in hot and heavy right now as we're recording, and just guys who are available are no longer available because they've got new homes. And the Warriors just, I don't know, if they're standing pat, that's a bad sign to me. And that's the end of the dynasty. If they stand pat here at the deadline, we can call it a wrap because they're not good enough to come out of the West. And I don't think they're going to be good enough next year because the teams that have bolstered their rosters, I mean, Kevin Durant's going to be a Phoenix Sun at least for the rest of this year and probably next year. But it's not looking good for the Warriors.
Yep. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. Am I going crazy? Am I nuts? Am I losing my mind over this one?
We're being driven crazy.
I feel like I'm losing my mind here. Let us know in the comments, like the video, and stay locked in to The Athletic.